Complementary and supplementary angles. Remember, angles are made up of two rays that share a vertex. Whoops, excuse that. That was a boo-boo. Point B is the vertex, is what I meant to say. Now what we're going to look at today are two things: complementary angles and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles whose measures add up to 90 degrees. The angles themselves are not 90 degrees each, but together mathematically they add up to 90 degrees. These are three examples of pairs of angles that add up to 90 degrees. They are called complementary angles. Or I could say that perhaps 30-degree angle is a complement of the 60-degree angle. That's another word that you're going to see possibly in a word problem. And if you'll notice the connection with the word complementary, you should be able to pick up on that clue in any given problem. Now if you'll notice the pictures at the bottom, what we have are two situations. One of them is called adjacent. The other one is called non-adjacent. Non-adjacent means that two angles are not touching. They do not share a common ray. They don't overlap. Or they do overlap. I'm sorry, I was saying it backwards. They don't share anything in common. They're not touching. There'll be gaps. There'll be spaces left. This picture, these are considered adjacent angles because they are side by side and they share this ray. They have a common vertex. Now both of these pictures illustrate complementary angles. So you have to realize the angles don't have to be touching and they're still going to add up to 90 degrees. And we can still use the vocabulary word complement. For example, down here, angle 1 is the complement of angle 2, or vice versa. And we can also apply this same word in the adjacent situation. Angle 1 is a complement of angle 2. Now I do want to draw your attention to this box. This is a symbol or signal in any picture or figure that you have a right angle. This angle measures 90 degrees. If this angle's 90, then this one's 90, because all the way around they add up to 360. So you technically have four right angles, and you could draw in four boxes if you wanted to. But angle 1 and angle 2 in this picture are adjacent, and they are complementary. Now, supplementary angles are two angles whose measures add up to 180 degrees. Now, I'm not saying either angle is 180 degrees itself, but putting the two angle measures together, it makes 180 degrees. Here are some examples. Here's three examples of pairs of angles that add up to 180 degrees. And again, just like we saw before, this could happen if the angles are adjacent, and it can happen when they're non-adjacent. Now here are both of the pictures. And again, adjacent means touching, side by side. They share a vertex. They share a ray. They're not gapping. There's no overlapping. Non-adjacent is when they don't touch at all. But if we were to put them together, they're still going to add up to 180 degrees, just like these do. Now, in word problems, you will still see the word supplement. Supplement looks very much like the word supplementary. So when you see it in a word problem, don't let it fool you. It means the angles are adding up to 180 degrees. Now it's up to you to keep these two concepts straight in your head as you work through geometry word problems or figures, but they are going to be good friends of yours, and you want to keep them around.